And remember, if you need anything, don't hesitate to call me. Oh, I don't hesitate. I adjudicate. Adjuda what? In the workplace? I don't think that's PG. How very dare you make me laugh at your silly humor, WWE? How very dare you? Massive, throbbing adjudication all over the place, all over your face. That's going in Raw, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Raw from Greenville, South Carolina. Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. And yes, I know I said last week that I might not review this week's episode because there was a mystery movie. Well, it turns out the mystery movie is actually just a special screening of the movie that I saw on Sunday. It was Babes. It's from Neon Studios, and it's fucking goddamn terrific. Check it out. It's really goddamn hilarious and actually tugs at your fucking tart strings. I think that's how the phrasing goes. Nevertheless, that's why I'm reviewing this. Also, I have a few things I want to dive into. Now, there is a mystery movie next week. If I don't review next week's Raw, there you go. And I will be reviewing the upcoming, King and Yas, Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia, but that'll be on delay. On delay! Good old MST3K reference. I was not impersonating the Pillsbury Doughboy, but nevertheless, yeah, that will be on delay because I'm going to be working. I'm not going to take the day off to review a fucking Saudi show live. No offense against the crowd. There's no doubt going to have energy, but I have to pick my spots, and I need that sweet dollar. So anyway, the capacity for the venue, well, around 15K, and they had around 8,600 according to WrestleTix. And you know what? That's pretty good. Certainly a bigger crowd than they're going to have for Dynamite. I will be at Dynamite this week. It's going to be taking place literally 20 miles from my fucking house. Oh boy. So anyway, Drew marches to the ring, and he is pissed. Apparently he does have a legit injury. He's knocking CM Punk. He says, if you're a fan of CM Punk, you're stupid. Apparently Drew talked to the Elite recently. Well, the Young Bucks and Jack Perry. Not Omega. It seems like Omega actually might have a good head on his shoulders. So he talked about the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And maybe the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was, looking like a drug addict despite the fact you've never done drugs. And he just ripped Punk. This is fucking terrific. I couldn't even write down enough of the quotes quickly. Really good shit. He says, I need to be careful. I don't want to attack you because you might not be cleared for another 20 years. I guarantee you this much, folks. I don't know what shape wrestling's going to be in 20 years. I'm not going to be reviewing it when I'm in my 60s. If I do, it's probably going to be on audio and it's going to be intermittent. Unless the world is irradiated, and then we will just have, we'll have the award-winning WWE Thunderdome. Oh, God, not that again. So, he talks about Jay getting his title shot and how Priest, stole it from him. Priest, he's here. He says, Drew passes the blame a lot, and he needs, he's like just knocking him and everything. But Drew also, he's got a line in there. He praises Priest for his hard work and overcoming a lot, but he doesn't deserve to be champion. The title makes a man, and that title needs me. But then Priest says, you blame everyone but yourself. You should really find a mirror and blame that asshole. Ooh, they're letting the naughty language fly. And how Drew stopped him from cashing in multiple times. Again, reasonable points here that actually tie into things. Logically. Not just hinging on the fact that, people might have remembered one particular event or one particular move done in a TV match about 8 months ago. You don't go too niche. You reward attention to detail. So, it's good stuff. And he did mention how all Drew had to do was leave hand in hand with his wife, but Punk was more important than his wife, and now there we go. So, Drew got pretty goddamn pissed right there. And Priest basically says, if you want a shot, once you're cleared, you got it. But I'm going to make you eat your words since you called me a paper champion, and there you go. Also, we got a parking lot pull-apart between Shayna, Zoe, and Damage Control. Zoe actually was in Greenville when it was first founded and everything. Actually helped pave the first driveway. So, Shayna and Io had the first match. It was a Yas Queen of the Ring quarterfinal match. I will stop saying that when I stop sounding so white, i.e. never. So Shayna jump-started, and the only match that started with a jump start. The only match. Okay, that being said, they actually cut a pretty good pace here. Now, they did start the match a little bit later after Shayna had jump-started Io. After Io was nicely scissoring the ropes, and it was very nice to see. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. How dare you accuse me otherwise? Io is so smooth, and this is the best TV match that I've seen Shayna have in quite a while. They cut a good pace, some nice counters, went into the Barracuda clutch. I know it's the Terrafuda clutch. It's funnier to reference a 1977 monster movie, and anybody that knows that Barracuda was a monster movie, you love obscure, dumb shit just like I do. I'll retro-review that at some point, possibly for October. So, eventually, we do get a moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Good match, though. Good stuff. I'm not going to say it's like on my favorite matches of the year list, but it was what it was. Jackie then talks to Io, who instantly takes the mic from her because we really don't need to hear Jackie say all that much because otherwise she will look very confused. She was there in front of a live crowd. I'm sure Jackie's very nice, but there's just something, she just seems like she's lost after a few sentences. That being said, Io says something in Japanese. I don't know what, but yes, ma'am. And Judgment Day are talking back. I'm sick of the Judgment Day fort, playground, play area. Priest is kind of getting pissed. And he's pissed at Carlito because of stuff that happened to Backlash last year. Logical. And that Carlito will prove himself. Another member, another person wanting to get into Judgment Day by proving himself. When you keep doing this shit, stop it. It already was stale when you had JD do it. It was actually, the stuff with Sammy and the Bloodline sort of worked, even though we kind of knew the end game. Now it's just rehashing stuff with people that are less interesting. And all due respect to Carlito, has he meant anything since that return pop at Backlash? Not really. So, Gable then yells at Alpha Academy, says Maxine had a chance and blew it. She lost to Shayna on the live event circuit, and that's why Shayna got to face Io. God forbid if they had Maxine win this whole goddamn Queen of the Ring tournament. They might as well have incinerated the crown right there. I'm not saying that she is a terrible person. I do not think she is ever going to get this. I just don't. Ivy's pissed, probably because she isn't tall enough to get on some carnival rides, and yeah, they're really going to do this. We're really going to go with this Alpha Academy thing, and they expect me to have sympathy for them. That's adorable. We're going to get Pat McAfee against Gable at SummerSlam, aren't we? Why do I fear that? So Kofi then says he is ready to take out Gunther for revenge, for what, or to exact revenge on what Gunther did to Xavier. If that was even close to English, then I'm amazed. Samantha brings out Lillian Garcia to just introduce Kofi. Good to see Lillian. Lillian's an underappreciated ring announcer. And it was nice. And you know what? It was nice. Samantha passing off to somebody that is seen as, she's pretty revered as far as like WWE fandom goes. So then Truth has an idea for a tag title, scenario, and it's going to end up being a fatal four-way because that's what we need is more multiple person matches. But then Kiana wants to work under Pierce. Well, Kiana is absolutely beautiful, and who would not want to work under her? I mean, honestly, no, in all seriousness. Kiana talks about, adjudicating, and then that's where the line from Truth came, and that was funny. I hate that I laughed, but God, Kiana looks good. Kofi then attacks Gunther's knee. He attacks the weak point for massive damage. Before the bell, a jump start. This time the face did it. It makes sense, because Kofi is upset at what Gunther did to Xavier's knee. And they had a decent match. Basically, submissions hurt more on the announcer's table, as I found out. A Boston Crab and then a single leg crab. So even though Gunther was favoring his knee, Kofi got his back worn on and eventually did tap out to the Boston Crab. It wasn't a bad match. Kofi did have some good offense. There was no doubt that Gunther was going to win. There's no doubt that Gunther is going to win this whole tournament. If Gunther does not win this whole goddamn tournament and it's Jay fucking Uso, then they really need to just burn that goddamn crown right there, because I'm sorry, main event, Yeet King Jay Uso? No. So, recaps of, the women's stuff from last week, Liv getting in Becky's face, all that stuff. And look, Liv did a good job in that particular segment. That's the only comment I will make about Liv, because that's the only appearance she makes. So somebody's safe, don't worry. So, then actually, wait, Jackie is backstage with Lyra. And Lyra talks about, being on a bit of a roll, her association with Becky. Then Becky talks to Lyra. And then Liv suddenly shows up. And after Becky had left, she says, has Becky always been such a bitch? And then Liv just got smacked right in the goddamn face. And let me tell you right now, when two Irish women tag team a dirty blonde, I usually have to go to a different kind of website to see that. But yeah, Liv got in the face from an Irish woman. Stop thinking about it, Kier. I know you're thinking about it. You stop it. Get some goddamn help. What the hell is wrong with you? You see Lyra standing over Liv. Ha! My scenario's coming true. Poor Kier. Oh, God, I'm so sorry, Kier. I actually, in all seriousness, do hope that Liv does beat Becky for the women's championship. I really hope she does. Because, look, Liv having that, holding it for a bit, maybe Rhea beats her for it, or they go into a non-title program when Becky's, when Rhea's ready to come back, I'm all for it. But, look, Liv, she's doing some good stuff here. And, again, a dirty blonde taken in the face from two Irish women. I mean, who wouldn't want to see that? I don't have issues. You have issues. So, Kofi is in pain, and Karrion Kross knocks the fact that Kofi lost a match. Okay, when Karrion Kross is fucking knocking you for losing a match, you know you have bad creative. Kross, of all people, who hasn't meant shit since before Adam Cole dressed him down in front of a few fans, and everybody was just knocking Kross. That was before he got fired and then got brought back. Here comes Bronson beat Tozawa, and Gable got very upset with him. Oh no, this is at the point when I left for the movie, and it was Babes, by the way, terrific movie. I don't care about this Alpha Academy stuff. I'm sorry. So anyway, Ludwig is talking to Gunther. Kathy interrupts. Ludwig kind of knocks Kathy. Don't you dare, Ludwig. Knock a beautiful woman like her. But anyway, he talks about Sheamus and that I will embarrass him, and that's going to be an undercard program, but okay, it is what it is. Jackie then reminds us she's with Adam Pearce, even though we can see him standing right there. You have to remind yourself, Jackie. Never mind, let's just move on. Four-way match. Dear God, that's just what we're going to get. Jackie says, oh my God, I love this. Opportunity is in the air. Yeah, are you sure that's not malaria? I think malaria would be more appropriate and more fitting for this. Okay, maybe not. Look, I'm sick of these multiple person matches. So, Steiner wanted, in the tournament, he's going to take people out. Eventually, he said this 2 weeks in a row. Then Lyra took on Zoe in a Yas Queen of the Ring quarterfinal match. I might as well just say in a tournament match because it's easier to say and it sounds less stupid than normal, which is kind of hard for me to do. Look, Zoe has not been the same since Ireland basically kicked her out for being part on the wrong side of the 1916 war, and Lyra can work. Zoe can work. Zoe's just not interesting personality-wise. But that being said, I mean, she remembers Lyra's ancestors. I mean, hell, she was there for the birth of her great, there's another great in there, grandmother. Zoe did some good stuff here, but Lyra was no doubt going to win. Has some good offense. Hit Nightwing, 1, 2, 3. And Jackie then talks to Lyra, who speaks Gaelic, and I think I might love Lyra. I think I might. I don't have issues. You have issues. So, then Jay is all fired up. I assume. I've kind of tuned out of Jay's promos. Sammy then beat Otis because Gable was upset at Otis for doing the funny stuff. And slaps him. I feel like this whole Gable thing is a slap in the face. Not that Gable isn't going to do good as a heel, but this is way too late. Way too fucking late. It's not just age. It is mileage. It is the amount of time that he's been on TV. I don't care who was in charge of creative. There's too much shit that they've done to Gable. So, yeah, he can work, and I don't give a shit about this Alpha Academy stuff. And Braun was giving the Creed some advice. Hopefully not any political advice. And JD, meaning JD McDonough, challenged Braun or warned him or whatever. Dakota, along with Io and Jesus Christ, Kyrie looked great. Took on Becky. Easy for me to say in English. Good work. Dakota's still trying to make that stomp off the ropes happen. There was a brutal landing on the leg drop. They did some good stuff here. Becky's over. Dakota's very good in the ring. Let's go Becky chance. There was nice back and forth. I did no good spot calling. It's not like we couldn't have heard you from the space station, but whatever. And then we get a run-in, we get a DQ, and Lyra comes down to help out and everything's good. And then Liv suddenly, rams Becky from behind, just ramming, getting right up in there. Stop thinking about it, Kier. Stop it. Stop. What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I run a clean show here. But yeah, Liv ramming Becky right from behind, right into the post and everything, and then laughs and toodles and all. No, wait, toodles is Tiffany's stuff. Nevertheless, she leaves, and Lyra's all upset. Jackie's then with Ilya, who basically says that he respects Jay, but he is going to destroy him. And then Gunther and Ilya have a stare down. Soon! They'll have the match, So Balor and JD of JD took on Bate and Dunn, took on AOP, and took on the Creeds. And Balor pinned Dunn after Carlito proved himself to join Judgment Day, because we've just done this before in about 10 minutes. That's all I gotta say about the four-way. Also, Def Rebel needs to be freaking fired into space without a helmet for what they've done to WWE music. How dare you call yourselves musicians, you fucking assholes? Hope your kids abandon you and you end up alone and afraid. I don't know what Def Rebel necessarily did to me, but I'm fucking pissed about this music. So, I'm not sure about next week's show. It depends on the movie. Just saying that. So, Priest asked Dominic, hey, are you and Rhea good? I think they just need to just let this go into the ether. Carlito will take care of Ray. It'll be Carlito's Ray. I'm sorry. I'm not. And then Ilya took on Jay. Okay, this is what I know. Ilya favored his arm, or his hand, well, and his arm too, because he kind of ran the whole damn thing into the announcer's table. Stupidly, Jay moving out of the way. Then again, I think it'd be stupid if Jay did move out of the way, but nevertheless, he's favoring that. But eventually does hit the H-bomb, but can't fully cover him. He's holding his hand, and Jay kicks out. Just don't have him hit the H-bomb. Have him hit the torpedo, and then have him take a while to cover. But whatever. Let's just kick out of finishers. That's what we do. Jay eventually won with a spear and a splash. Okay, there are people that like Jay, and I do not hate Jay, and Jay got a hell of a goddamn reaction in France. One of the best reactions of all year in WWE. I'm sick of his offense. I'm sick of watching him in the ring. He's over. People are going to like him. I've kind of just washed my hands of him. That being said, Ilya and Gunther eventually, very soon, will have a match. And that's all I got to say about that. So, if there is no review next week, I do apologize. Maybe a movie review. I'm not sure what, because I'm watching four movies between Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon, because as a friend of mine in San Antonio says, you've got to give the people what they want. And I've given you what you wanted. I've given you a Raw review. Longer than I expected, but had some things to talk about. So agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.